Hi everybody, it's me again, Jack Wallen, and I am here once again to talk to you about the life of being an artist and how to navigate this crazy world when you have the sensitivities of those who tend to create, like me. So, here we go. I've mentioned this before, I think in maybe a recent video, but was it 2 weeks ago or a week ago? I don't remember. Time's just flying by so fast. Today it's the middle of December, and yesterday it was the middle of November. Zoom. So, whatever Saturday it was, got together with my co-creator. Not really co-creator. He's the camera operator, also who happens to be my best friend in the world, and another actor from Me and My Muse. And we filmed one of the scenes. And we spent 3 hours, actually 3.5 hours, and the results were 1 minute of footage. Now, it was really good. I'm really proud of it. In fact, the interesting thing is when I first started transferring the clips from my CFast card to my iMac, I did a quick view of it, and my first thought was, oh, I'm so bad. And then I remembered, I can't judge myself. I'm not a judge for myself. I can't do that. It's just bad idea. Bad idea. So I edited, I put it all together, got the color all right, exactly how I wanted it, which took a long time, and I had to redo it 3 times because various and sundry things happened. Anyway, showed it to my wife, and she was like, oh my God, that's fantastic. You're so good. You're magic, blah, blah, blah. I thought, okay, this is going to work. And here's a really cool thing. As a side note, I also write for various publications, and I did a review of a projector and a screen, and it was massive. It was huge. It was really super expensive and bougie and big, and it was brilliant. But to test it, I showed that footage on this big ass screen, and it was glorious. It was glorious. And the best thing about it was, and this is one of the tricky things about creating video, is every screen you show it on, it's going to look different. I usually do my edits of my video edits on an iMac, and I always get it to look just right on that iMac. And then when I view it on a phone, which the majority of people in the world are use instead of a computer, it looks like crap. So I was originally thinking, oh my gosh, how is this going to look during the actual production? Then I remembered, okay, it's not going to be shown on a phone. It's going to be shown on a big screen. So that viewing that clip on that screen assured me that it's going to work. It's going to be okay. Now, that also leads me to what I want to talk about right now. I cannot even begin to tell you how many times during the creation of this project, from beginning to now, where I've said, it's too much. I don't know if I can do it. I'm at a loss. It's overwhelming. It's complicated. It's going to get the best of me. And then, is it going to be worth it in the end? Okay, let's unpack all of that. I knew it was going to be hard. I knew it was going to be challenging because of this. Art is hard. And being an artist is even harder. And that, my friends, is the truth. You can ask anybody who has anything to do with any form of art. Now, that's not to say that, like, when I sit down to write, writing's easy for me. Writing has become second nature. I can do it in my sleep. And because sometimes I do. But there are aspects of writing that are not easy. For example, promotion. Every writer out there, whether they are self-published all the way up to the top, have to do promo. They have to promote their work. And it's hard, especially when you are to your core an artist and you don't speak business and you struggle with the business side of things. It's all of a sudden it's like, well, I don't know what to do. I'm an artist. I can create these really cool possible promo spots, these videos or images or whatever. I can send them out. And doesn't mean they're going to be any good. And that's part of my problem, is that when I create all of this promo stuff, I think as an artist. I don't think as a business person. So very often my efforts to promote my work fail. For example, here's a really good example. And this is I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm not cutting anybody down. If anything, I'm cutting myself down, which I do. I'm a pro at that. So long time ago, back when Facebook was actually effective and wasn't a big old trash dump. Don't get me wrong, I still use Facebook because I have a lot of really good friends on there and I have to use it to communicate with them. But back then, 10 years ago, whatever it was, I don't remember the dates, there were certain groups that would hold events for writers. And it was like a takeover. And I did a lot of them. And I failed at a lot of them. And here's why. Because I'm an artist. Because I approach those things as an artist. I approach those things as I approach my writing. I wanted it to be intelligent and meaningful and purposeful and evocative and provocative and all that stuff. And so I would ask these great questions, or I thought were great questions. I would add these images that I created that I thought were going to be effective, only to find out that nothing was. Because what I wasn't doing was what the people wanted. They wanted simple, silly, funny memes. They wanted questions that didn't challenge them. They wanted things like, cast this book. If it were a movie, cast it. They wanted things like that. And I always assume that when I'm interacting with, like if I always look at it as if I were in the group and there was a writer or an artist that was being spotlighted, what would I want them to do? How would I want them to just be superficial and not dig very deep into the muck and mire of what they do and what they've done? I want to go deep. I want to ask the questions that other people might not ask. So that's how I approach them, and I failed every time. I couldn't do it. I couldn't get the hang of it, and it was embarrassing at times, and I would just throw my hands up and say, I tried my best. I really wanted to do this. I wanted it to be successful, but obviously I don't know what I'm doing here. But art is hard. Ask anybody. Write a book. Memorize a play. Figure out that choreography. Get it into your muscle memory. Write a song. Direct a movie. Write a movie. Paint a portrait. It's all hard. It's also worth it. That struggle is very much worth it. And no matter how hard it is, I will keep going. And I'm just happen to be very fortunate that the part of being a writer that is difficult for many people is very easy for me. But the part that's very easy for many people is very hard for me. I can't market for crap. I mean, I've tried to market with these videos. Nope. Doesn't work. That's okay. It's okay though. And then being an artist, that's even harder. Because we are living in a world, we artists are living in a world that doesn't really support us. That looks at us as secondary, as not necessary. While at the same time, they depend on our work to make life a little less sucky. Because without art, life is pretty sucky. And so when those thoughts, while I'm working on me and my muse, when those thoughts come into my head, when they say, this is hard, why are you doing this? Give up. One of the first answers that comes out of my head is this. If I don't do it, I'm going to live with that regret for the rest of my life. I will always ask myself, what if? What if I followed through? And here's the thing about me. When I start a project, when I start an artistic project, I will finish it. One way or another, I will finish it. Because it's that important to me. Creating art is a prime directive for me. And I can't not do it. I have never once started writing a book and gave up on it. Never. I don't start writing a book until I know the idea is worth writing. But there is always that little voice in my head saying, why does it matter? Once you get it done, once you do the easy part, the struggle will start. And you've got to make people aware of your work. And that's when the rubber meets the road. And I realize that I can't do it. But I try. And I won't give up. So I guess my point with this is that as an artist, whatever art it is that you do, whether you are a writer, a painter, an actor, a designer, a musician, a dancer, a sculptor, a basket weaver, a needle pointer, a knitter, doesn't matter. When it gets hard, and it will get hard, don't give up. Because if you give up, that's a failure. If you complete that project, that's a success. And those successes add up, just like the failures do. And in the end, when you're staring at these two piles, one of failure and one of success, you want that success pile to be considerably larger than the failure pile. But for me, the only true failure is giving up. It's really as simple as that. Because, think about it this way. Let's say you spend however long it takes you to write a book, okay? But you finish it. That, my friends, is success number one. And that's a big one. That is a big success. You can't deny that. You finished writing a book. Okay? Then, you get that book edited. You go through the process, the back and forth of editing. Success number two. They're adding up. Guess what's next? You get a cover. Whether it's somebody you hire or somebody your publisher hires, you get a cover, and now it's all coming together. Success number three. Woo-hoo. And finally, it gets published, either by yourself or a publisher. Success number four. 4 freaking successes from one simple project, or single project. It's not simple. Add that to the pile. Because you're going to need it. You're going to need to see those successes pile up, because once the book is published, you're going to start feeling like the failures are adding up. Because day after day, you're going to mistakenly look at your Amazon dashboard and see no sales. And you're going to think, I'm failing. This is awful. Nobody wants to read my book. Nobody wants to listen to my song. Nobody wants to watch my movie. But just remember, you did it. You finished it. You saw that artistic project to completion. And that, my friends, is a success that no one can take away from you. And as an artist, we need as many of those as we can get. I have over 60 books published. That's a feat. Regardless of how many reviews, how many sales I get, nothing can take away from the fact that I have over 60 books published. My goal before I die is to hit the 100 mark. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to do it. So please, be kind to yourself and count every tiny success that you have as an artist, because you're going to need them. Art is hard. Being an artist is much harder. Because those failures, they're sitting there in a pile. But who gets to define the failures? You. Not somebody else. Not an industry. No one. You. So let the failures consist of one thing. Whenever you give up. And second to that, just don't give up. Thank you so very, very much for spending a little time with me today, because I know that you are super busy and there's all sorts of stuff calling your name, especially now because it's the holiday season. Christmas time is here. I do love this time of year. And I'm kind of always disappointed when it goes by so quickly. And the older you get, the faster it goes. Anyway, again, I'm ending this. I don't want to get off on another tangent. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being a part of my little world here. It means so much to me. And I hope that you and everyone you know and love have a wonderful, wonderful day.